Hello again, Sagittarius, and I hope that all of you had a wonderful Valentine's Day. So, before we begin your reading here, this one's a little bit different. The messages that are coming through are definitely on a different side from what you had to experience last week. So, from Le Vampire, you pulled redemption, absolution, forgiveness, and penance. Now, I'm going to read all three aspects to this card so that you can really understand what's going on here. The blessing says being able to be sorry, to say sorry, and to take responsibility will lift any burdens you may be carrying from your shoulders. Now, the curse here says that the blame and self-punishment you are currently inflicting upon yourself cannot make amends. Whatever we hold within can poison us. And then working with this card says it is time to be open about your remorse and to let what has been secret be said. Now, on top of that, you pulled gossip. Now, gossip from Chakra Wisdom says that this card suggests that appreciating differences is key. This card is a warning that you may lose a valued relationship if you do not appreciate what you have. And the key ideas here are uniqueness of others, lack of appreciation, and needing to refocus your life. Now, looking at the two, I feel like, maybe some of you are feeling some remorse for not having enough appreciation for somebody that's in your life. But then I also feel like, you need to have some appreciation for your own uniqueness as well. I mean, it speaks both ways, especially with gossip. But redemption, it's good to see, because I feel like, especially out of the last reading, that that feeling will come to you of absolution. All right, Sanji, here's the energy coming through. Now, normally when I do personal readings, the very first thing I do is shut it down. When you see the Ten of Wands, you have to shut it down because there's just too much going on right now. But we're going to go with this because I feel like this is something that needs to be known here. The Ten of Wands is feeling overwhelmed and overburdened. You're carrying too much right now. And yeah, with what you pulled in the Oracle cards, it would make sense, Now, again, usually this being the first card that's being pulled, this would suggest that there's just too much going on. But because this is a general reading and not a personal reading, we're going to continue with this. But, again, normally I would just shut it down. Something is telling me not to. And in the past, yeah, we know. The Tower. Again, it's having built on a false foundation. All the people and the situations that you thought were there for you are no longer going to be. But again, the beauty here is that you get to rebuild something so much better. And of course, it's going to be overwhelming. Having all that limiting shit come crashing down. And again, it's losing people from lack of appreciation, And again, it feels like it goes both ways. It's not just on your side, but it's also people having a lack of appreciation for you as well. Because that's the clear message with gossip. It goes both ways with the story that's being told there. Now, this being the past coming through, this has already happened. And now it's time to rebuild. But you still have this feeling of just being overwhelmed right now. And in the present. So, looking at the tens to me, there's endings happening. But, seeing the Ten of Cups there would suggest that, there's a part of you that is looking at, the situations in the past. And it's almost like this feeling of like remembering the joyful memories of the journey before the crash. The Ten of Cups is like domestic bliss. And it speaks volumes to the wisdom of Sagittarius. You can go through such horrible stuff, but then you have the ability to say, you know what, I'm not going to focus on that. I'm going to focus on the joy of the journey. That's what I feel like looking at it, just looking at the three. Future conditions. Sad. Again, I'm like being stopped from shutting this down because I'm like fighting with my guide right now. Like, no, we need to stop this because it's just too much. But I'm hearing no, you need to go through this. So, future conditions, the Nine of Swords, this is mental anguish, pain, despair, regret, sleepless nights, crying alone. It's just mental. It's mental and it's painful. And seeing that underneath the Ten of Cups, I'd like to, if you took this out of the equation, it speaks volumes to, again, your wisdom in being able to remember the joyful memories from the journey before. Because, again, that Ten of Cups is the ending. But now seeing this, I feel like your domestic bliss came crashing down around you. And it's painful, painful, and overwhelming. All right, we're going to try and quick get through this because, man, the feeling here is, it's rough. Your best path to follow. I like seeing that because it's saying that you need to step into your own power here and take control of the situation. This is definitely you. The difference between the King and the Queen of Wands is the King is passionate, driven, seeking new adventures, and people are following him, and he's showing them the way. And she gets everything organized. She gets all those people organized. She gets control of the situation. Being dynamic and stepping into your own power. Man, Sag, this one's rough. This one's rough. And in your environment, conflict, I mean, the Page of Swords, though, to me, being the messenger of conflict, usually I see him within these first three. So there's kind of two ways to look at this. I mean, when you look at it this way, it's just like, man. But, this could also speak to you needing to be active and courageous right now through what you're dealing with. Taking control of your situation, not worrying about the obstacles that are in your path, and moving forward and speaking the truth. But there's still that air of like conflict around what's happening here. Your hopes and your fears, and it makes sense. I mean, look at it. It's like you want to get back to this. You want to have that wish fulfillment return to you out of all of this hard stuff going on. Man, oh man, Saggy, I am so sorry. And again, this is one of those ones where it's like, the last reading and the response to it broke my heart. It broke my heart in a way that I did not expect. I expected more messages of saying, that's not my path right now. That's not my path. It's meant for somebody else. But the response was overwhelming to me. And, it's like you're still going through this. You're still going through it. Things are changing a little bit here. There's some hope, but there's also some pain. But, there's this change in you as well, as far as taking control of the situation. It's overwhelming to you, and you're hoping for some wish fulfillment out of the changes that are happening instead of continuing to feel like this. And the outcome. Oh man. That Knight of Cups, there's what I will say to you here is that if this person is offering you some emotional fulfillment, then they need to show it. They have to show it to you. That seems to be the theme with that Knight this week. It's more about actions than it is words. You're looking for that wish fulfillment, and they're in the outcome out of all of this. It's like, I mean, looking at it this way, it almost feels like what's coming through here is overwhelming and it causes pain, but you want it. You want it. You want to have that feeling of love and wish fulfillment and domestic bliss. But man, that Knight better show it. Oh man. And if this is the person that is the reason for what you're going through right now, I mean, when you look at redemption, it goes both ways. It goes both ways here. It's not just you, but it's this person as well. So, the story behind gossip, that woman in the middle, she was so creative and such a free spirit, and the people around her didn't understand. They didn't understand her nature, her creative nature. And they didn't realize what a beautiful person she was until after she passed away. So, it goes both ways. It's not just you needing to say that you're sorry for what may have happened here, but it's also the other person as well. But again, with redemption showing up, I feel like, there's going to be some forgiveness here. And seeing that with the Knight of Cups, taking everything else out, yeah, I feel like this is a better outcome. I mean, even though you're looking at it this way, it to me, again, it's just saying that this person needs to show you. And then, again, with gossip, you have to appreciate the uniqueness of others, but then also yourself as well, right? And with that Queen of Wands, take control of the situation. If you want that domestic bliss and that wish fulfillment to be returned to you, you need to take control of what's happening in your life, and you need to be courageous. You cannot stay still. You need to be active in the rebuilding of that tower. And you definitely need to get your focus away from the mental pain here, especially if there is this offering of forgiveness coming through. But again, actions speak louder than words with that Knight. Whew, yeah, this one's rough. So, yeah, forgiveness and redemption. I mean, yeah, and it goes both ways. It goes both ways. This isn't just you. This is the other person as well. And again, look for actions here. But, there's going to be some blessings coming to you out of the crashing of that tower. It's there. It's there. And love endures. And it speaks volumes to your wisdom. So you have to forgive me, Sag. This one was a little bit emotional. I mean, forgiveness and redemption. I feel like out of all the pain that you've been through, there's going to be an offering here of forgiveness. And it's going to be on both sides. And then when you look at redemption and gossip, to me, this is saying that there needs to be an appreciation, not only for yourself, but for the people that are around you as well. Now, this situation may be really overwhelming to you right now, but I really feel like, and to me, this speaks volumes to your wisdom and being able to look at the joyful memories from the journey from before this crash, right? And there's pain. There's definitely some pain involved here, but you're still hoping to see something better and having that, emotional fulfillment, right? And I feel like that's what's going to happen here. But you need to stay active in this situation. You can't be stagnant, be brave when dealing with this. And again, you need to step into your own power here and take control of the situation when it comes to rebuilding for yourself. But I feel like you're going to see some blessings out of all of this, and love endures. Yeah, again, it speaks volumes to your wisdom. So I feel like some better things are going to be happening for you here out of these last two readings. It's going to be overwhelming, and it's going to be a little bit tough right now. But seeing this, I mean, just these two here, it's so powerful. There's going to be a feeling of redemption and forgiveness. And it's not just you forgiving, but it's the other person forgiving as well.